Hey, I'm Tom.
And I'm Tank.
Welcome to episode 98 of Bird Squawk.
All right. Well, week after the Birds are done. Hopefully everyone watched some football. There was some good football this weekend.
What a weekend of football.
It was very exciting. Yeah, I mean, we were going to talk draft today, but I think there was a lot of things that happened this weekend that should be on the forefront before we get into the draft a little bit. We'll talk a little bit at the end, what like Mel Kiper and stuff said on early drafts. I still haven't looked that deep into stuff, but we'll see. I think the main thing that I want to jump into, there are two main things that I saw this weekend that I think if you watch the games, it's very evident still that I thought the same last week after the tough loss. And I think the same after watching games this weekend, that we are very far away. We are not really as close as we think. And the first thing I want to bring up is Jalen Hurts. I know that's obviously the big topic of anything this offseason. But I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you think. Do you believe that Jalen Hurts can reach the level of play that was happening this weekend with the Josh Allens, with the Mahomes, even Brady at 45, Rodgers, even a Stafford or Garoppolo type guy that can make it happen? But I'm talking about that top end because you need that. It's so evident in those games that reigns supreme. Something else reigns supreme as well, but we'll talk about that next.
Well, watching those games this weekend, it was evident, when you looked at those games and you saw how each game progressively got better than the previous one. I mean, it was blatantly obvious that we have a hole, right? But then you take a couple days and you think about it, you look at stuff, and of course you're going to have the top tier. You're going to have Brady.
Yep.
You're going to have Rodgers.
Yep.
And you're going to have Mahomes, right? And then Josh Allen's coming on, next guy. A guy who has the stuff we thought Wentz would have.
Yeah. Sadly, yes.
But then there's always that one little person sprinkled in that you think, well, you know what? Garoppolo's there.
Yes.
Do we really need that big-time quarterback?
No, I agree with that. But the thing is, I'm not saying he has to be Josh Allen. And obviously people are comparing Josh Allen through 19 starts, this, that, or whatever. But Josh Allen can fit a freaking any hole into any keyhole. He can fit the ball into any keyhole. But the thing is, that's the thing. I don't really think, the verdict's still out. But I don't see Jalen Hurts reaching that potential. But can he become a Stafford or Garoppolo?
Yeah, there's just so many unknowns with him still. Like what? Because we had the week before he can't read defenses. Some of these guys couldn't read defenses for the first 4 years.
Yes.
Whatever. But the arm strength thing is
something he can't overcome.
He can't overcome that.
You can't grow a stronger arm overnight. And that's the biggest thing that I guess I'm concerned about. But the thing is, okay, so from your answer, that segues perfectly into what my second thing is. So you think probably we're hoping he hits, like, Garoppolo is probably, like, where we want him to maybe be next year and see what moves on. But at least get to that point. Well, if he's going to be that point, this defense needs to, size up and get better. Because that was also, top-tier quarterback play was the first thing I saw this weekend. And the second thing I saw this weekend was top-tier defensive play. You had the Titans, even in a loss, that front four, 9 sacks, dominant. You had the Rams, and you had the Niners.
Not to jump in on your thing there, but it's kind of a great correlation between the defense and a good quarterback, right? You talk about that Titans game, right? And that was another thing that jumped out at me through this whole weekend is the defensive front just has to bring it.
Yeah.
They brought it to Burrow 9 times.
9 sacks.
And he still won the game.
Yeah, because on the other side, you had Tannehill.
Would Jalen do that?
I don't know.
I don't know. And he brings some other intangibles that Garoppolo doesn't have. He can run.
Yeah.
But I just don't know, but I don't know what's out there that's any better.
I know. It's really like next year. I'm not really saying next year. I'm just saying in the future. This is why I'm asking the question to the big Jalen Hurts people. Like we obviously want him to succeed, but do you see
I love
him?
the kid, but I just don't know.
That's the thing. If you believe in this kid, that's great. But do you physically, truly see him? Truly see him getting to that level where you need to be in this day and age? And you say Nick Foles or whatever, he was playing at that level when we won the Super Bowl. He was playing at an elite level for those 3 games. You need that, or you need a dominant D.
You know, you hear these stories of Russell Wilson and Mahomes when they were young and they were at practice, and it was like that clicked, man. The guys at practice and the coaches at practice, they were like, this guy's the guy. We think back to Seattle. They had just signed that dude from the Packers, gave him big money, and they have camp, and Wilson's a rookie, and they're like, we're going with Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're there with Jalen. I don't know that anybody has been at practice and said, this is the guy.
I mean, there's been obviously people have said good things that he that's the thing.
Because he's likable.
I know, that's the thing. It's always going to go back to the intangibles. A good leader. He says the right things.
Yeah.
He's right there in between the ears. Like, he's got all that, but the play just hasn't been there yet.
I totally think, and we talked about this, you don't shut it out. You don't stop kicking tires. You look, you investigate.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would love that. Okay, let's bring him back, but let's load this defense then with 100%.
Well, before we get into the defense, just a stat. I mean, I looked into it. Games against 5 teams 500 or better for Jalen Hurts. 2-7, and the 2 wins are against the Saints.
I feel like he regressed a little bit this year
against
the good teams.
The thing is, that is not a great stat. I feel like any bigger game, he came up small, and I think that's recency bias, because that playoff game really hurt a lot of people's thoughts about him.
That game, like I said, was like a true, here's your moment.
It
Go
felt like
take
that.
it.
Yeah.
And he didn't, and now we got to eat that for the rest of the summer.
Because the thing is, I'm not really comparing him and Burrow, because they're obviously on different. The one was the first overall draft pick, and the other one was the 52nd. But
yeah, but I mean, Burrow tore his ACL. Came back.
I was just saying mostly of comparing offenses. I think Eagles. I think the offenses are comparable. I mean, obviously he has Jamar Chase, but we have Devontae Smith.
We don't use him.
Yes.
I mean, they use Chase.
Yeah,
we don't use
but
Devontae.
Their line is not good. They have average running backs. Our running backs average with that. Goddard's better than that Ozuma guy. It's comparable. And like I said, I'm not comparing the two, because they're obviously on 2 different platforms.
But you hit the nail on the head in the beginning. We are quite a bit away from being in this discussion at the end of the year.
Okay, we can move on from Jalen. But the second point I was bringing up, defense. We need to get back. We draft all these freaking defensive linemen. Some of them got to make an impact, man.
Right. Yeah, you can't be taking any reaches here.
Yeah.
You got to go out and stock this thing with playmakers.
Mm-hmm.
There can't be any dudes from freaking the Pac-12, wherever the heck we're looking for talent. It's got to come from the SEC.
Yeah, and I mean, it needs to happen. They need to take a lineman, a linebacker, and I personally want a big lockdown safety. And the mock drafts have been iffy so far.
I'm not really sold on what Howie and Saucy have said, because Howie was the same guy who said Carson was like a finger on his hand.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was nothing too surprising.
I'm sure if somebody would say, I want to be in Philly, they'd find a way to get that person to Philly. Who that is, I don't know.
I get that. But the main thing is, from what I've seen the last 2 weeks, us playing and now this week, I'm not selling the farm because we're not there.
I'm not selling the farm either, but we're in a business to win Lombardis. We're not in a business to just make the playoffs.
Where we thought,
right?
Like I said last week, where we thought 2 years ago, like last year at this point, where we thought, okay, this is probably like a 2 to 3 year rebuild, and then we made the playoffs this year and we thought that was different. No, we are 100% where we thought we were.
Yeah, I mean, it was still a good accomplishment.
It 100% was.
But when you pull back and look behind the curtain, it is who we beat, and
that's the main thing.
I mean, we ended up getting there, and we saw right away we weren't supposed to be there, and we weren't ready to be there.
Exactly.
And I'll still say, for all the Hurts lovers out there, we do love the kid, but that game in Tampa was his moment, and he should have taken advantage of it. Somebody with some big cojones would have came out and taken advantage of that situation.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see how it progresses.
I don't know.
It's very evident to me that he's going to be back. I mean, I don't think they're getting Russ. I know they're in the Rodgers sweepstakes, but I do not see that happening at all. I really don't see them taking anyone in the draft, and if they do, it's obviously a huge mistake because they need to take defensively.
I'd love to see defense, all defense.
Yep.
My other thing I've been thinking about ever since this, season ended is, who knows if they even go out and get a free agent wide receiver, because who's going to want to come here? They might get 20 catches. Who knows? I mean, look what we did to Devontae this year. Now go out and get him a teammate that can catch the ball. Who knows if they're even going to throw it to him?
Well, that's what we hopefully Jalen develop. There's a lot riding on next year as much as there was riding on this year, because truly if we're in the same point next year, we're moving on from him. I'm willing to give him another year at the end of the season, how it all finished out. But if we're at the same spot that I don't know what to do with this kid, I'm looking at the draft, because I don't know names in next year's draft, but it's got to be better than this crop.
I mean, and yeah, we got money. We got cap space.
Yeah.
But we still got to entice people to want to come to Philly. Now, we know what kind of fan base it is and what kind of, devoted people and people that want to play, they want to come to a fan base that gives a crap.
Yeah.
But they've also got to be a focal point of the offense.
Yeah, we also got to be looking like we're a winning team. So, I don't know. We'll see how it progresses. I mean, obviously, we'll see. Brandon Brooks did retire today. Obviously, great. Good for him.
He's going to stay in Philly. I heard he said he's going to apply for a law degree at Penn, and Philly is his home.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, great for him. Obviously, probably not the end he wanted, dealing with injuries the last couple of years, but part of that Super Bowl team, obviously forever will be a legend because of that.
Yeah, I'd really love to maybe get him to open up a little bit sometime down the road and see what the whole deal was with this year. Like, was he truly at the end of the season still hurt? Did they not want to bring him back in case he got hurt, that they'd have to pay him? I don't know. I just like to. I don't think it was the way he wanted to go.
No, I don't think so either. But good for him. Happy for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Still unknown with Kelsey if he's coming back.
I don't know. Saucy send him 2 kegs.
Who knows? Who knows? I believe Saucy knows he's got work to do.
Yeah.
And he's going to do his best to get things right for next year.
I truly do think they know where they're at. Like I said, there was nothing too telling from that press conference, but I still believe, they said the right things without being, over, making any big headlines. They understand the assignment, and I think we'll see. Obviously, the draft is in April. We're a while away. We'll have a lot to talk about that, but it's big. It's always big. Last year, I would say, was pretty successful for Howie with the draft.
Yeah.
See what happens this year.
Yeah, I expect some of the same, but I expect him to be sprinkling in some free agents.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Because I think this is another avenue to rebuild and reload this team. It's disheartening to be watching these games now, and we're not part of it, but realistically, we can see why.
Exactly. So, I mean, lots to go. I mean, still 3 weeks of the season. We got championships, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, and then it's the offseason. See where it goes. We'll be here for all of it. We'll talk about the draft. We'll talk about when we get closer. We'll have more draft next week. There's just a lot going on, a lot of evidence stuff that needed to be talked about this team. So we'll be back as always next Wednesday. Thank you guys always for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at birds_squawk. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Fly Eagles fly.
Go Birds.